In a sea of thousands, cameras flashing, and dignitaries standing at rigid attention, a 4-year-old boy quietly changed everything. One single gesture, unnoticed by most at first, made even the King of England falter, caught off guard by a display of innocence, respect, and unexpected maturity. Before we dive into the full story, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that bell, and like this video. Every twist, every emotional revelation, and every royal secret is about to unfold, and you don't want to miss a single second. Prince Louis Arthur Charles, the youngest son of William, Prince of Wales, and Catherine, Princess of Wales, has always been a force of nature, playful, mischievous, full of energy, yet surprisingly aware for his age. Born on April 23rd, 2018, Louis captivated the public from his very first moments outside St. Mary's Hospital, held lovingly by his mother, smiling at cameras while his older siblings George and Charlotte looked on. By the time he was attending state events, the world had already fallen in love with him. His antics, covering his ears during flyovers, waving with uncontainable excitement, making faces at his mother, became viral moments celebrated globally. Yet no one anticipated the day he would show a side that left the palace and the public utterly speechless. During a major royal ceremony, meticulously planned for months, Prince Louis did something completely unscripted. The crowd, the cameras, the guards, and even seasoned royal aides were unprepared. Louis paused, looked around, and in a moment of rare, quiet seriousness, bowed his head with sincere respect. This was not a playful gesture or a performance. It was genuine, a pure expression of emotional intelligence that cannot be taught, only nurtured. The crowd held its breath. King Charles III, standing just a few feet away, visibly moved. His eyes glistened, lips pressed together in silent awe. Even the man who has performed countless formal duties could not hide the emotion stirred by this small but powerful act. To truly appreciate this moment, one must understand Louis's upbringing. As the youngest child in the Wales family, he is cherished but also raised with an emphasis on emotional awareness. Catherine and William aim to balance privilege with normalcy. School runs, supermarket trips, and family camping trips are as important as royal appearances. This upbringing encourages children to feel before performing, to prioritize genuine reactions over rehearsed gestures. Louis's bow wasn't a performance. It was a reflection of a household where emotions are validated, nurtured, and respected. Royal historian Robert Lacey notes that Louis embodies authenticity, something rare in an institution often criticized for its rigid image and carefully curated appearances. In this moment, he became a symbol of what the modern monarchy can be: human, relatable, and emotionally genuine. The scene was intense. Thousands of spectators, royal aides coordinating every movement, and dignitaries lined up with military precision. George and Charlotte stood close to their parents, aware of their roles. But Louis, as children often do, stood slightly apart, observing the crowd, the guards, and the solemnity of the space. Then, without prompting and without looking to his parents, Louis bowed. His chin lowered, shoulders followed, and he held the gesture slightly longer than expected. Cameras caught every detail. The public watching online, hours later, experienced a moment of pure, unscripted humanity. Charles, recently ascended to the throne after the passing of Queen Elizabeth II, has often spoken about wanting to break generational patterns, being a grandfather who is emotionally present. Unlike his own father, whose childhood was marked by distance, Charles strives to show love and presence to his grandchildren. Louis's gesture struck a chord with Charles, bypassing formal training and ceremony. Body language experts noted the king's reaction: widened eyes, tight-lipped smile, a subtle shift signaling a deep emotional response. This simple bow was a gift, a heartfelt moment shared between a child and his grandfather, captured by millions around the world. The footage went viral instantly, millions of views within 12 hours. Social media erupted. Comment sections overflowed with words like pure, heartwarming, and authentic. People felt something rare, a genuine human connection in a world increasingly dominated by scripted media moments. International media covered the moment extensively. French outlets, American networks, and Australian tabloids all highlighted the unexpected grace and authenticity of Prince Louis. It wasn't just about a child bowing. It was a statement about the monarchy's ability to connect emotionally with the public. Moments like these reveal what the monarchy must do to remain relevant. Younger generations question inherited power, but emotional connections, authenticity, and relatability reinforce the institution's importance. George represents seriousness, Charlotte exudes confidence, and Louis embodies emotional connectivity. Each child is shaping the monarchy's future in a unique way, proving that beyond titles and protocol, humanity matters more than ever. This single quiet gesture has left the world watching, hearts moved, and the palace deeply aware of what truly matters: authenticity, love, and connection. Prince Louis isn't just a child of royalty. He's a symbol of the monarchy's potential to blend tradition with humanity. This bow may have seemed small, almost insignificant, yet in it lay a lesson far greater than royal protocol or ceremony. Louis reminded the world that the monarchy is not only about titles, pomp, and centuries-old tradition. It is about real people, with feelings, love, and human connections. In a time when society celebrates noise, constant engagement, and dramatic displays, Louis's act was revolutionary in its simplicity. A quiet moment, a pause, and a small gesture spoke louder than any headline, statement, or public appearance could ever convey. To understand the full impact, consider the environment. This was not a casual family event. It was one of the most highly scrutinized public ceremonies the royal family attends. Cameras, media, and public attention create immense pressure, even for adults trained in protocol. Yet Louis, just 4 years old, responded naturally, authentically, and emotionally. Every gesture of the royal family is analyzed. Every smile, wave, or bow is scrutinized for political, symbolic, or PR meaning. And in this sea of calculated appearances, Louis's bow stood out as pure, unmanufactured, and profoundly human. Even before this ceremony, Louis had shown a rare understanding of emotional nuance, often acting in ways that seemed instinctively right rather than performed. His playful antics, covering ears during flyovers, making funny faces, and surprising his family with spontaneous gestures, had gone viral. Yet the bow revealed a side of Louis rarely captured by the public eye, a child capable of awareness, empathy, and reverence beyond his years. The event was meticulously planned. Dignitaries stood at attention, cameras flashed, and the crowd waited silently. George and Charlotte followed protocol. Louis naturally observed. Then, without guidance or rehearsal, he bowed his head in genuine recognition of the ceremony and the moment. It was not a fleeting nod or playful mimicry. His chin dropped, shoulders followed, and he held the position with unspoken intent. Observers, both in the room and via broadcast, noticed something extraordinary. Even King Charles III, who has attended countless ceremonies, was visibly moved. His lips pressed together, eyes glistening, attempting to contain emotion. Why does this matter? The monarchy thrives on tradition, but it survives because of connection. Louis's gesture reminded viewers that the family behind the monarchy is human, capable of feeling, reflecting, and connecting on a deeply emotional level. Experts analyzing the moment noted that Louis's bow bypassed training or external pressures. This wasn't for the cameras. It wasn't a performance. It was a purely emotional response, cultivated by the nurturing environment created by William and Catherine. Emotional intelligence, empathy, and authenticity are values the royal parents emphasize, and Louis's act is evidence of its success. The video went viral immediately. Millions of views in hours. Social media exploded. Viewers across the globe expressed a sense of awe and deep emotional connection. The comment sections overflowed with words like pure, heartwarming, and authentic. People were moved not by spectacle, but by a silent, authentic act of emotional recognition. International media picked it up. French, American, and Australian outlets praised the moment for its universality, highlighting the child's ability to communicate emotion without words. In a world addicted to drama, spectacle, and noise, Louis reminded everyone that quiet, sincere gestures carry unmatched power. In an era of instant gratification and attention economy, stillness is rare, silence is undervalued, and reflection is often dismissed. Louis' gesture challenges this culture. It demonstrates that awareness, pause, and emotional authenticity are powerful. We live in a society that rewards performance over feeling, yet a 4-year-old at a royal ceremony showed us that true human connection transcends age, culture, and social expectation. His act was unplanned, unscripted, and unearned, yet it resonated globally. King Charles's reaction is equally telling. The monarch, recently crowned after the passing of Queen Elizabeth II, has made clear his intent to break generational patterns of emotional distance. He strives to be present, engaged, and affectionate with his grandchildren. Louis's bow was not merely a moment of protocol, it was a gift to his grandfather, a silent acknowledgement of shared emotion. This small gesture emphasized the Wales family's approach, nurturing emotional depth alongside public duty, blending tradition with humanity. It is a living lesson in how monarchy can remain relevant while connecting genuinely with the public. This moment is about more than royalty. It teaches us about empathy, authenticity, and emotional intelligence. Across the globe, people watched and recognized the power of a single, genuine gesture. Louis reminded us that humanity cannot be manufactured. It must be lived, felt, and expressed, even in silence. His bow was a pause, a reflection, a quiet assertion that feeling deeply matters more than performing perfectly. The lesson is universal. Small acts of authenticity resonate louder than grand gestures performed without feeling. Prince Louis's bow, brief yet profound, shows the monarchy as more than image and tradition. It is a family capable of emotion, authenticity, and connection. In a noisy, performative world, this moment reminds us of the power of sincerity and human connection. If this story moved you, and you want to see more uncovered moments, emotional royal stories, and behind-the-scenes revelations, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon, and like this video. You won't want to miss what comes next.